Good morning. Hope everyone's well and enjoying a good week. So what we're going to look at today is buying businesses the next step for you as an entrepreneur? So we're in like very unique times. Economy is very, very different. There's a lot of volatility, a lot of changes, and buying businesses can be an absolute game changer. We completed on a new business last week, £100,000 business, and it cost us £6,000 plus legals of our own money. The seller was absolutely chuffed. We were really happy, and for £6,000 of our own money, we've added between £100,000 and £200,000 to the balance sheet. There's lots of opportunities out there. There's lots of ways that you can strategically go into this, and I'm going to share with you in this video like why is that the next thing for you? Are you going to make the most of this unique period in time, and is that right for you? And equally, why it's not right for you? I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm going to start. I'll do them about 7:30 in the morning. I need to decide what days I'm going to do them on, get a bit of rhythm to it. But if you're enjoying them and you like them and you want me to carry on doing them, please press like, please comment, please share. And if there's any topics you want me to cover, just drop it in the comment and I'll make a note, because the easiest thing, there's obviously hundreds of people, well, thousands of people now watching these. It's hard to know what you all want to hear, so let me know. Today we're going to look at buying businesses. So I've been building businesses all my life. Under the PPN UK group, we currently operate and trade over 20 active companies, and I've gone through the period of starting them, systemizing them, scaling them, and then in recent years more so buying them, because there's lots of benefits to buying a company. And first of all, I'm going to look at like why is buying businesses the next step for you? Why might you consider it? So first thing is the economic position. There's a lot of businesses going out of business at the moment, and you don't have to look further than economic reports, Financial Times, daily headlines, the amount of businesses that are in a difficult position. And some of these businesses are fundamentally flawed because they're zombie businesses, dinosaur businesses, and they've just been dragging themselves along for a long time. And what the recession's done and COVID and lockdown has just given them the final bullet. You don't really want to be picking those up as businesses. Others, however, are just overweight. So other businesses are just a bit overweight, and perhaps they've acquired too much debt, they've overborrowed, they've committed to contracts and leases. Try not to disturb people that might be asleep on their boat. There's other businesses that they just got a little bit too, they just put on weight and they weren't lean, they lost their profitability, perhaps they became overfunded, they committed to 20-year leases in the boom times, and now they're challenging to operate. And they're fundamentally good businesses, but they're just carrying too much. Maybe they're carrying too much debt, or they're carrying too many overheads, or they've got too many liabilities. And if you were to strip them down, either invoice out the assets, perhaps put them through some advanced structures like pre-packs, CVAs, you can take a business that in its current ownership and structure is fundamentally flawed, or rather it's just overweight, it can't run well. You put it on a bit of a diet, strip it out, restructure it, maybe merge it with another business, and it can work really, really well. So economically, there's lots of opportunities out there at the minute. That's one thing. Another thing is, when you're an entrepreneur and you've built businesses, you'll understand that there's a lot of work and effort that goes into building a company, and lots of challenges, lots of trials, tribulations, lots of bumps in the road. It does take a while to build a company, and whereas it might take you 5 years to build your company, it's very realistic that you could actually double in size overnight by acquiring another company. And what that is it's a lot quicker, it's a lot more lucrative, it's a lot lower risk. There's obviously sentiments to all of this, but it's quicker, it's lower risk, it can be more cost effective, it can be more secure. There's lots of reasons why you do that, and one of my mentors says it quite well. He says he used to run the marathon with his businesses, so he'd start from scratch, spend 3 to 5 years getting them set up, getting them formalised, and then going on an organic growth journey. And we all know what organic growth like. It's hard work. You got to pay for marketing, the marketing that doesn't work. You got the sales you spend loads of time on that never come off. All of the effort that goes into organic growth and the time that it takes to grow by 3, 5, 10, 20%. 20% in the UK is, if you're growing by 20% year on year in the UK, that is deemed to be a fast growth business. PPN UK has doubled in size every year for the last 5 years, which puts it in the top 2% of fast growth companies in the whole country. One of the ways that we do that is through acquisitions. So we have, last week we bought our 8th portfolio management company, added that to the group. And what it does is it enables you to grow very, very quickly, very predictably. And also when we're talking about trimming these businesses down, as your business gets bigger, it'll enable you to benefit from what's called economies of scale, which means you've got a bigger business. So if we look at Multi-Let UK, for example, UK market leader for professional house share management, largest network of HMO specialist portfolio management companies in the country. We have offices from Bedford, down from Bedford up to Manchester. And the economies of scale we have is we have a head office. So whereas independents have to have, they might only be doing £100,000 revenue, but they've got to have a bookkeeper, they've got to have somebody doing credit control, they've got to have somebody doing contracts, somebody doing property maintenance. Well, we've got a head office with departments that do all of those things. So the economies of scale we get mean it's cheaper per unit. We can manage portfolios at about between 40 and 60% of what an independent can manage them at. So all of a sudden we can get margins from businesses that perhaps didn't have margins previously. So we get the economies of scale, and then there's the multiplier value. So the economies of scale make the businesses more lucrative, strip out the stock, reduce the overheads at a local level, centralise those. That's called a roll-up strategy when you're buying companies, and it makes them more lucrative. And then equally, as you scale your business, whatever business you've got, one of the intentions, you've got two things you want to do as a business really, and as an entrepreneur. One is you want it to be profitable. Now what we talk about on Property Entrepreneur is the definition of a property entrepreneur from a financial point of view. So what does it mean to actually be an entrepreneur? And this is where a lot of people get it wrong, is you own a business and your business should pay you at absolute minimum. So those of you who've got businesses thinking about this, at minimum it should pay you the open market salary for your job. So whatever your job is in the business, most of us work in our businesses in some capacities. It should pay the open market salary as if you were going to recruit somebody else to replace you. That's your salary you get paid every month for doing the job. And then at a minimum, it should pay you the same in profit. So let's say that your open market salary is 40,000 or 80,000 for the job you do. If you wanted to retire and employ somebody else to do your job in the business, it should pay you that plus the same as a profit. So if you're paying yourself 40 or 80 grand a year salary, you should then make at minimum 40 or 80,000 pound profit, because the logic is, if you're going to take all this risk of starting, systemizing, scaling businesses, the work, the effort, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the pressure, the stress, if you're going to take all that on, you want to earn the salary for doing it plus the same again for the risk. Otherwise, why not just go and work for somebody else and let them take all the stress and the pain and all that with it? So when we're looking at acquiring companies, it can be a lot quicker, it can be a lot faster, it can be a lot more lucrative. And when you understand how to do advanced mergers and acquisitions, so on Property Entrepreneur Advanced, we teach people how to do this. And it can be significantly cheaper as well, because you can do advanced structures with regards to fundraising, upfront considerations, deferred payments, earn-outs, no money downs. In the same way that you build a portfolio of properties, you can build a portfolio of businesses, and that's what I tend to do now, really. I don't start a huge amount of businesses. I do that mainly through our incubator program, so I partner with startup entrepreneurs who want to start a new business and help them to scale it. And then what we do primarily is buy other businesses and do roll-ups in that capacity. So there's lots of benefits and there's lots of opportunities. Sort of opportunities that I'd be looking at the minute in the current sector would be looking at entrepreneurs that are tired. So think about what you could buy if I was to show you how to do it, and you could actually acquire a company and double in size overnight, or even just have a business overnight. What business would you buy that would complement your existing business? Would it be a maintenance company? Would it be a marketing company? What business would you acquire? Got my coat stuck on my Fitbit. That'll teach me. What business would you acquire if it cost you literally next to nothing? If it cost you like next to nothing, or like last week we acquired our 8th agency, and we acquired that for £6,000 plus legals, and that's £100,000 business, like from the day dot. And depending when we revalue it or sell it, it'll be worth between 100 and 200,000. If you knew you could do that, what businesses would you consider? And then start to look in the market, because there's going to be businesses that are struggling. They've taken on too much debt, they've got too many overheads, and they just need stripping down. And it might be that they can't actually do that within their current structure. If you're looking at places in the commercial space at the minute, restaurants, retail, they're all going through pre-packs, they're going through CVAs, they're going into administration because they need leaning down. There's some fundamental good bits, but they can be really overweight as well. What businesses would you go for? Restaurants is an interesting one at the minute. Obviously some restaurants fundamentally do well, but maybe they're part of a bigger group that have taken on like a ridiculous amount of debt, like Pizza Express. If that was an independent, it might trade quite nicely. The fact that it's just laden with a ridiculous amount of debt, hundreds of millions of pounds, I think it might even be over £1 billion. It's a crazy amount of money, and they're just really, really overweight. And then also thinking about who's tired. Who do you know that runs a business that during lockdown has actually realised they've had a pause to capitalism, they've gone on cruise control, and actually they don't want to run this business anymore. They don't like it, they've enjoyed spending time with their friends and family, and then you've got a motivated seller and you can start to do deals there you can cut it up a million ways. So they're all the reasons to consider it. It's faster, it's quicker, it's lower risk, it's more predictable, and last year we made 3 acquisitions, so that was 1 every 4 months. This year we're expecting to do 1 a quarter, so Q1 we've done ours, Q2 we've got another acquisition that we're just looking at the minute. I'm actually looking at buying a restaurant, so I've identified a restaurant in Nottingham, prime location, very well known restaurant. To be honest, have very little interest in running it as a restaurant. It's, to me, because it comes with a freehold, would be we're looking at potentially turning it into a development site and building it out. But there's lots and lots of opportunities out there for those of you that want to buy companies, scale them. One of my mentors said, rather than run the marathon all your life of like hard graft organically building a business, when you learn how to do mergers and acquisitions, he was one of the people who taught me. He said you'll realise that you can just run the last 100 metres and still get the medal. You buy a business, it's already got the clients, it's already got the team, it's already got the resources, the brand, all that hard graft's been done, and then you just pick it up, run the last 100 metres, turning it around, increasing the efficiencies, maximising the profits, or whatever you're going to do with it, and happy days. You've run the last 100 metres and you've still got the medal. Reasons why you shouldn't do it is being an entrepreneur's a journey. It's a life. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifelong journey. It's a career. It's a vocation. It's something that you do as a person. You probably never, if you're an entrepreneur by passion, because you like creating things, growing things, stuff like that, it's probably something you'll never grow out of. If it's something you're doing that's fit for purpose, you just want to build a business so you can be independent and have a good income. What you realise is there's a first phase of becoming an entrepreneur, and you wouldn't jump in the Formula 1 car and drive 200 miles an hour around sharp corners in competition, because you would just, you write yourself off, you kill yourself, and that's mergers and acquisitions really. It's a very advanced strategy. We only do it on Property Entrepreneur Advanced. We don't teach it on the programme. Once people understand how to start a business, systemize a business and scale a business, then we start to teach them how to move into mergers and acquisitions. And we've got at least businesses that I'm advising on at the minute, we've got at least 4 or 5 that I can think of at the minute on Property Entrepreneur, where we've got advanced property entrepreneurs actually buying other companies. So I highly recommend it. It's very worth doing, but you have to get there. So you have to be on Property Entrepreneur Advanced. You have to have already started, systemised and scaled your own business in the past. And the easiest way of thinking about it is, it's like a rite of passage. You need to do those 3, 5, 10 years of however long it takes you, of driving the banger, building the banger, building the kit car, bumping it into the curbs, scratching it against the fence, spending money on painting it a colour that you realise you didn't actually like. You've got to go through all that period of doing the whole thing yourself, and then you can move into mergers and acquisitions. So whilst now is the opportunity time, without a doubt, to be buying companies, because there's so many going into administration, into CVAs, into pre-packs, so many opportunities to go and buy businesses. You do need to have had the rite of passage. You do need to have built a business in the past so you can understand. Once you've got that skill set, you can put it to better use by buying companies and just doing the last 100 metres. But you have to run the marathon to get the medal. So yeah, something to consider. Is buying businesses the right thing for you in the coming months and years? Equally, as I said, if you've got businesses that potentially aren't profitable, or maybe you're tired of them, and lockdown has made you realise that's not what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with selling businesses. Lots of businesses, the money in a lot of businesses right now is in selling them, because they don't actually make profit, they don't actually pay you a good salary. You're tired of it, you've lost that entrepreneurial enthusiasm, and there's an opportunity to sell it. If you've got letting agencies specifically, and ideally HMO agencies, if you've got a big portfolio or you know people who run those and you think they might be interested in selling, by all means give us a shout. Like, we're more than we're more than keen to hear from people who've got agencies that they want to sell. Equally, if you're in a position that you want to start scaling more aggressively, just have a sit down when you're having your tea or your coffee this morning. Just think about, what if you could buy any business right now, what would it be? I've for years tried to crack the marketing element of our businesses. We've outsourced it, we've recruited consultants, we've had marketing executives, marketing managers, and never quite cracked it. So I was sitting there the other day and I was saying, right, I wonder if there's an agency I could just buy. I just buy an marketing agency, sub it out to each of our individual businesses we own and some of our clients, and run it like that. I could probably buy it no money down, not have to use any of my own cash, and it would come with systems, it would come with processes, products, team, brand, all of the things you need. So yeah, buying businesses can be a really, really big game changer if you've got the rite of passage. Equally, if you've not yet got the rite of passage, get your head down, look at starting businesses, systemising them and scaling them. And whilst now is a great time to be buying businesses, it's also a great time to be starting businesses. I was working on one this morning, I did some work on one over the weekend. There's 2 businesses that we're looking at starting at the minute through the incubator program, which are literally crest of the wave. They're niche, they're ready to scale, and if you can bring the entrepreneurial energy and drive that's required to get there, couple it with the experience and expertise to actually do it effectively, then yeah, you can be onto a winner. So have a think about it. Is buying businesses the next step for you? If it is, let me know. More than happy to hear from you and offer you some more support if I can. Equally, if it's not, heads down, start, systemise, scale the business. The gold rush is coming. Make the most of it. And if you like these videos, like them, share them, drop me a comment about what you'd like to know more of, and I'll schedule that in for later in the week. Otherwise, the sun's shining, summer's here. Enjoy a great Tuesday, and I'll catch you all on Facebook and in the comments later on. See you later.